again, welcome back to another Two Idiots. Idiots 1 or 2 here. We're talking about Rambo series this time, so
yes.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. So with the Rambo series, and James finally saw them all.
Finally saw them all.
Yes.
As weird, the order that I've seen these movies is very weird. My first Rambo movie was Rambo, which is number 4.
Yeah.
Then my second Rambo film was Rambo 1. Then I've seen Rambo 2. Then I finally seen Rambo 3, then Rambo 5.
Yeah, I actually saw them in order because I'm older and they're coming out at a certain point. Although, funny story, I went to see Rambo 3 in the cinema. I tried to sneak in when I was younger, but I was too young, and they spotted I was too young. It was me and one of my cousins went to go try to see it. And they were like, no, you're too young.
No happening.
So I see Beetlejuice instead, and that was a great experience. That's a much better film than Rambo 3, so it worked out better for me.
That worked out for you.
Yeah, so anyway, Rambo series is Stallone's big series apart from Rocky. Have you seen the Rockies?
Yes.
Yeah, probably Rocky at some point as well.
I'll have to do the Rockies, I've still not seen any Creed though. I'll have to watch the new one.
I've got Creed 2 on the...
That's on Netflix.
Alright, see. So, so I think we've just announced something here.
Probably at some point we'll do Rocky.
Yeah. So Rambo's his other big series. Rocky gets more respect critically than Rambo does.
For then Rocky, can I hold the camera and watch you run up some stairs?
No.
Oh.
I'll die if I try that.
That's why.
I know that's why.
We'll film the video first, then we'll get you doing the stairs, then I can splice it all together on a nice memory package.
Or you watch you try and run up your own stairs.
I fell down them recently, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. See, he's trying to kill me. Right, so Rambo...
First Blood.
First Blood was based on a novel, which I've read. Have you read the novel?
I read it in school.
Good for you. You read the sequel novels?
No.
I've read Rambo 2 and 3 novelisations.
Did he not die in the first book?
Yeah, he did.
So how did they do sequel books?
With great difficulty.
I suppose they did that with Jurassic Park, so if they can do it with Jurassic Park, they can do it with anything.
Yeah, no, because the funny thing in the books is David Morrell, who wrote the books, who I'm a big fan of as a writer actually, he wrote the novelisations of 2 and 3 and tried to add some character to them. And so he just ignored the fact that Rambo died in the book. He treated the Rambo character as the character from the film rather than the films in the first book. Because the first book's a lot darker than the films is.
If I remember right, he's just a nut job in the book.
He kills a lot of people in the book, and Troutman is less of a dominant figure, and the sheriff is a much more sympathetic character in the book because in the book it's the two characters, Rambo and the sheriff, they're both equal. They go back and forth in chapters, so you see it from both the points of view. So it's not just a Rambo film; it's two characters, and they kill each other by the end of the film. Both die. Both have it coming. It's a very dark book. And yes, Rambo's a lot more disturbed in the book because it's much more about how you can't turn off the violence you've been trained for. In the film, it's still kind of brutal, but not as brutal. I mean, the First Blood's still one of the darkest of the series. That and 4, I think, are the 2 darker ones.
Aye. They're my 2 favourites.
Yeah, they're my favourites as well. Spoilers. Yeah, so when did you see First Blood?
I seen First Blood in 2010.
I saw it in the 80s, so... I saw it in... it was on TV a lot, bizarrely. You had to sit up late to watch it, but you could watch it, so I saw it on TV, and... Because I think it came on TV roughly when the second one was coming out, or just before the second one came out. So I knew what it was, but I was too young to see the second one in the cinema. So I didn't see the second one until almost the third one was out. But the first one was a big... It's a terrific film. It's very dark. It's a manhunt film, basically.
I would say it's like Stallone's best acted film.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his best ones.
After I rewatched it the other week, it's like that big scene at the end, there's like a message in my heart going, when did Stallone forget how to act? Because he acted his ass off in that scene, and I've never seen him act like that since.
Yeah, no, he's a lot better in this film than he is in most films. And the whole film is just this manhunt, and you can tell, like, In the film, the sheriff's an arsehole.
Aye.
Completely unlike the book. In the book, he's just doing his job with this guy who's looks a bit weird. The guy turns out to be a nutcase.
Aye.
In the film, Stallone does not look like a nutcase. He looks like a guy who's a bit damaged, but he's not.
Aye.
You just leave him alone, let him stop in the town to get something to eat, and then he'll be on his way.
Aye.
That's all you have to do. It'll be fine. Just let him go on his way. In this, this sheriff's such a dick, he won't let him stop in town to get something to eat. He drives him off to the other side of town and says, go away.
Aye.
And Rambo has had enough of that because he's been through that a lot in different towns, and he's had enough, and he's fed up with doing crappy jobs where he doesn't get any respect, even though he's a serviceman who's done a lot of stuff. So he kind of explodes. Basically, they arrest him for walking back into town, and when they try and beat him up in the police station, he explodes, and he takes out half the people, part of the police force in the police station.
I just leathers him in that shiver room.
I know, he just goes for it. He's a Nam flashback. I think this was with the Nam flashback kind of became a cliche because he flashes back to Vietnam torture.
With his fake moustache.
Yep.
His big massive fake moustache.
Yep. And he really beats the crap out of everybody in a really good sequence as he escapes from the whole town. And he takes out half the town escaping.
Aye.
It's a really well done sequence because it's like pretty brutal.
Aye.
And Stallone, this is shot in the winter and Stallone looks cold. I mean, he was not in this trailer much for this film.
Aye.
He looks like he suffered for this film. And he takes out half the police station.
Aye.
And then the rest of the film was in the woods, them hunting him down, bringing in the National Guard, hunting him down. And he's taking the National Guard out one by one. He's all these traps. There's a bit in the leg.
He's not killing them, he's just hurting them really badly.
Yeah. He's not like murdering people, he's just brutalising them. There's all these traps where the traps go into people's legs. And
that one, that's nasty.
I know, and there's a couple of actors you may recognise in it as well. David Crusoe's in this one, the ginger haired guy. He just looks completely different from everyone else in the film.
Aye.
And there's a nice bit in the helicopter where he kills one guy in the helicopter, he throws the thing.
Just throws a brick at him.
I know, and then they fuck up and the thing crashes. And the bit where he jumps off the ledge onto the tree, goes all the way down and rips his arm open, has to sew it up. That's pretty horrible.
It's pretty nasty, but it's quite a gritty, realistic way they do it.
Yeah, I mean the whole movie looks freezing. You can feel how cold it is just watching the film. So we see it in the Blu-ray, because it always, this film did never look good in the transfers until it hit Blu-ray, and then it looked really nice but it looks cold. It looks really cold, and it is a really enjoyable film. It is pretty dark though. I mean, the problems I find with the film is in the second half mainly where Troutman comes in and he speaks. It's almost been a different film from the rest of the movie where he speaks and all these speeches of how great Rambo was, and it's like, you don't really need that. You've already seen him tear apart the town. You know what he is.
Aye, he's an unstoppable machine.
Yeah, you've already told him that just by visually.
Aye.
I think it's one of those films that could have been 10 minutes shorter just to be a bit leaner.
I know, I really like the pacing of that. I like the first one, not many change anything.
Yeah, I'd just cut little bits out here or there. Nothing major, just I think the second half it loses a little bit of momentum. I mean, there's a really great scene when he's trapped in that cave.
Aye.
And
the police guys are arguing who's going to go and get him.
Yeah, there's all that stuff nice. And then when he takes out the town and starts trashing town. That's great stuff.
Shooting all the electric boxes.
Yeah, but yeah, he does take out people, but he doesn't kill them. He just damages them really badly. He does a Batman on them basically.
Aye, he blew up that petrol station and everything.
Yeah, I mean, he does so much damage, but it is like they had it coming. They were being dicks to him, and he was mad. He went mad.
He just wanted something to munch.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted, something to eat.
So if you see a veteran, let them have lunch.
You know, or just ignore them. Just leave them to it.
Yeah, I mean, but First Blood is really good because you really sympathise with Rambo because he didn't have that coming.
Aye.
But as soon as they prod him too much, he's almost like back to Vietnam. He brings Vietnam back to the world in a way that they did not expect. So it's...
He wanted to win this time.
Yeah. Well, that's the second one.
He still wanted to win.
Yeah. So First Blood, great film. Second one, Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Weird name.
Yeah, this is where the names get weird. So we'll be mocking the names, by the way. Just in case you're a bit sensitive with this, yes, we're mocking them.
Aye.
We're mocking.
I've never understood the naming conventions of this film. It's like it goes First Blood, then it goes Rambo First Blood Part 2, then it goes Rambo 3, then it goes Rambo, then it goes Rambo Last Blood. That one makes sense.
Yeah, I think Stallone just had a bunch of words in this bowl and he's picked out. You know, that's the only way he explains it. But this is the one that was co-written by James Cameron. And this is the film he wrote this one the same time he was setting up Terminator, to direct Terminator, and he was writing Aliens at the same time, because he wrote Aliens as a script, as an assignment, with understanding that if Terminator was good, he could make Aliens. But he also was doing Rambo as well at the same time, as just to get money. So he made these three scripts at the same time, and you can tell that there's a James Cameron feel to some of it. Just the way it's done. And it's probably the best action movie of the series.
Yes.
But it's got the... Do you want to take the thing? It's the best action movie of the series, but it has really cheesy dialogue. You know,
very cheesy.
It's enjoyably cheesy. But the thing is, when I first saw this one, I did not like it because I liked the first one. This was a total cheese fest. And it was like, nah, fuck you can't do that to First Blood. Then when I saw it again once, I'd kind of allowed myself to say, okay, it's just a cheese fest. Then I was fine with it. But
so you watched it again once your buzzer dropped.
But yeah, so I watched it again like years later and I enjoyed it a lot more. But yeah, I mean, it is for me, it's, if you're Russian, you'll hate this film, because this film despises Russians.
It's very anti-Russian.
Yeah. Not long before Stallone did Rambo 4, where why can't we all just get along?
Didn't Rocky 4.
Oh, Rocky 4, yeah, sorry. Did I say Rambo alright?
We're not talking about Rambo though.
They're both R's, come on. Right, so, yeah, but this one really hates the Russians. The Russians are basically behind the Vietnam War, and Russia seems to be still in Vietnam, en masse, with lots of people. And they're still torturing POWs 10 years later, just because they're sadistic bastards. That's it. The villains are baddies.
Just because.
Yeah, just because. If you have any knowledge of Vietnam War, throw it out the window, and burn it. And
just pretend this is an alternate history.
Yeah, it's insane. But if you ignore the historical facts, it's a fun film. Rambo blows up so many people with his bow and arrow.
His wee magic bow and arrow.
Yeah, they can do anything. He gets tortured, because Stallone always gets tortured in these films.
He needs to get tortured. It's in his contract.
Yep. There's some nice bits where boats get blown up and flames and things.
Helicopters.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. Steven Berkov is the villain, Russian villain. He's loads of fun. You either, if you're highbrow, you'll recognise him from theatre in Barry London. If you're lowbrow, you'll recognise him from Beverly Hills Cop.
That's what I recognise.
Yeah. I know, I knew I was placing you. I was trying to appeal to the three viewers who would think, come on, say something beyond Beverly Hills Cop. No. Anyway, but he's a fun villain as well, because he's just camping it up like crazy.
He just chewing that scenery.
Yeah, I mean, he chews the scenery, then Stallone blows it up. Is the best way to describe it. This is, in lots of ways, a bad film, but a really enjoyably tacky film. It's probably my third favourite of the series. Really.
Yeah,
I guess, because the Rambo films do have lots of dodgy They've good highs and they've highs and lows that are very extreme.
They're very high highs and very low lows.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, but this one's kind of enjoyable because I think James Cameron wrote a script that Stallone then rewrote, and I think the script itself was solid. Like the construction of the story, like going in, the idea was he was meant to only find photograph.
These POWs.
There wasn't any POWs left. Send a guy in, do that. That made sense as a plot. Then he finds them, even though he's not meant to find them.
Mm-hmm.
All hell breaks loose. Explosions happen.
And they abandon him.
Yeah, and then he goes mad. That actually works quite nicely, but the way it's been rewritten, it becomes this gore fest.
Aye.
Which we're not criticising. We like gore.
Oh yeah, gore fest, yeah.
But yeah, it could have been a saner film, but I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because every moment you'll recognise Charles Napier as the American guy who sends him in. He's in the Blues Brothers and there's lots of exploitation movies. He's all the worst dialogue and he's tuning scenery as well, so he's a lot of fun.
Aye. And that's Rambo's new target.
Yeah. And it's just fun. It really is fun. It's really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it is cheesy as fuck.
Aye.
It's peak Stallone, 80s Stallone.
It's peak 80s. You know, one thing that nobody ever talks about these movies, how gory Stallone's hair is in these films. His hair is massive.
I know. He's full 80s. He's like, him and Mel Gibson are in a competition in these movies.
The ultimate 80s hair.
Yep. I mean, Stallone would then go into Cobra after this, which is also peak 80s Stallone of weirdness and craziness. The same director as Rambo, by the way. And, of course, there's Tank and Cash as well, which is another peak 80s Stallone weird, blow everything up film. I mean, Tank and Cash is a lot of fun, even though it's a guilty pleasure movie.
Yes.
It's so terribly written, but so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. There's a slight love interest in this film for a whole 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, the Vietnamese woman who pretty much as soon as you see her, think she's dead. Just you're dead.
She's not lasting the film.
She's lasting for about 10 seconds. She has one dialogue scene with him and then dies.
I think she dies like 3 seconds after kissing him.
That sounds about right.
Roughly about 3 seconds after kissing him, she gets filled with bullet holes. No from him, obviously.
Yeah. It was either that or Phil Butler kind of.
So I shot early in.
Yeah. Yeah. It was either have a sex scene with Stallone or die. Oh, die.
Nobody wants that.
I'm fine with dying. It's good for me.
Nobody needs another Italian stallion.
No, or is he the Specialist with Sharon Stone sex scene? Oh, it's a horrible movie. You have to see it. I've got it.
Never heard that.
It's terrible. It's really terrible.
Right.
It's one of Stallone's worst films, and he's done bad stuff. But this is stop and mumble shooting level bad.
Well, I actually enjoyed that film.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Stop and Mum Shoot. I used to sit and watch it with my gran.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm dealing with. Yeah, but this is really bad. It's the only good time about it is James Woods, the villain, who's chewing scenery. But the whole plot is ridiculous and terrible, and it really is like a low bar film. I saw it in the cinema, and my jaw was on the floor the whole time, thinking, "Holy fuck!"
I do enjoy James Woods.
He's good in it. I mean, everything else is terrible. So now we're still recording, okay?
No, stop recording.
Yeah. So now we have Rambo 3.
Which I watched for the first time in the last week.
Which I haven't seen for a couple of years. But I've read a novelisation. I mean, does that count?
Nah.
Fuck you.
No, nah.
Have you read a novelisation?
Nah.
So I'm wondering what opinion there.
But nah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I'm least familiar with because it's the worst one in the series, I think.
Aye. The only thing I took for this film was watching it, it's like so much it reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, that they must have been inspired by this film somehow.
Well, it was set in Afghanistan, both of them were set in Afghanistan.
I mean, a lot of like the parts of it, like sneaking into a base and all that.
Yeah, no, there's a good film set in Afghanistan made at the same time as Rambo 3 called The Beast. Right, starring Jason Patrick. That's a good film. I highly recommend it. Go see The Beast. The Beast is really good. Because that's about the Russians in Afghanistan getting lost in a tank. and it's about them trying to survive an attack against all the different insurgents. It's a really good one. This is not. This is basically Stallone goes into Afghanistan to save Troutman, who's been caught under fire, and he's now a prisoner of war. So Stallone, who's living in a Buddhist monastery, in a scene that has been mocked so often. It's been mocked for like 20 years, this thing. If you've watched Hot Shots Part 2 with Charlie Sheen as and this film, MacGruber's done it as well. Every comedy action movie tends to have a character starting off in a Buddhist temple because of this movie. That's the most famous part of the movie, is some of the mockery of this one scene. So he starts in the Buddhist temple. Troutman comes to ask him to go along with him. He says no. Troutman gets caught. He has to go in. And he goes in with the Mujahideen, which are going to be Al Qaeda eventually. So they're the good guys. So the people that we're hunting down now in the world are the good guys in this film. And the film was made, and then the Russians pulled out of Afghanistan before it was released, and the whole idea was killing lots of Russians in Afghanistan. That was a problem for the film as well. That was a slight problem. The Cold War ended while this film was still waiting to get released. You know, one could see it posed a slight issue for them.
Aye.
Also, the problem with this film is it's boring as hell.
Yes.
It's really boring. There's one nice scene where Rambo is trying to get Troutman out and going through the into it's the initial thing when he's into find out he's into a cave and the flame the flame flies down and he falls into the tunnel thing. That's a nice sequence. The thing is, this film had two directors. The first director was fired after 6 weeks, and that one sequence I'm talking about, that was him. Then he was fired and someone else took over, and the rest of the film was boring.
Yes.
Because the guy who made Highlander directed that sequence, and then was fired for making Stallone look shorter, apparently. Which I never saw. But they weren't getting on anyway. That's what I've heard. That's the rumour. He made Stallone look short, but I don't know what the actual truth was. I just like that rumour because it's really petty.
Aye.
You know, I don't care if it's true. It's petty as hell and it looks funny. But, so they got rid of one director, got a new director in. That new director was a second unit guy who shot lots of second unit films. But he wasn't really a big director, and he made a really boring film. And it's hard to, there's a whole sequence at the end. The end sequence I'm bored watching.
Aye, it's just, yeah.
Just lots of things happening, but there's no story. You don't like any characters. Rambo's...
Even the action and violence isn't that great.
Yeah, there's a one scene, really, that's good, which is his initial bit going into the Russian camp. That's the only...
first attempt.
Yeah, the first attempt, that one sequence. So they fired a guy who did the good sequence, and they hired someone else to do all the bad sequences, basically. Which is a problem. And you don't even like any of the characters. And that's what you need for an action scene to work, is you like to like the characters and care.
You've got Rambo, you've got some guy with a beard and a wee boy.
Yeah. When you're having a little boy character in a movie, it's a sign you're desperate.
I was like, is he going to die? Please kill him.
Yeah.
Didn't kill him.
I know, it's... Kids, what can you do with them?
Kill him.
Yeah. This is a father, by the way. Wait till your kids see this video.
I didn't say kill my kids, I said kill the kids in the film.
Alright. Anyway, so this is This killed the series basically because it cost a fortune. This was in the 1980s it cost $50 million, which is like $200 million now. And way over budget in the desert, and no one cared. So.
Wasn't it a big success, was it?
No, it was a bomb. So it was like pretty much. I think it scraped. I'm not even sure if I made money in this one. I think it lost money because. So. That was Rambo over for a long time, and pretty much the series had gone on. Stallone had his highs and lows, and eventually did come back with Cliffhanger, and eventually, years later, he brought back Rocky and Rambo, and Rocky Balboa, and Rambo, just called Rambo. It's not Rambo First Blood Part 2, it's just Rambo.
Aye.
Or John Rambo if you have the extended edition, which is my second favourite movie of the series.
Yeah.
Because it's dark again. Basically, that's a film where Rambo had actually been away for years in the middle of nowhere. But where is this one set again?
It's near Burma, is it not?
Yeah, and basically he's just a fisherman who fishes and takes people down river.
Yeah.
He's a boatman, called him the boatman, basically. And he has no cause, he's no nothing. He's still trying to come to terms with violence with himself. He sees himself as a problem, not anyone else anymore. And he doesn't trust America, he doesn't trust any cause, because every cause he's ever fought for has turned wrong, because they kind of have to acknowledge part 3 where we fought for the Afghanistan people who turned out to destroy the World Trade Center. Although it was really sordid. But that was where Bin Laden was hiding at that point, so they couldn't really had to find a way around that one. So they just had him say every cause he's fought for turned wrong.
Aye.
And he's in a dark place, a really dark place in this film. Which is what's good about it. He's back to Rambo of First Blood, someone who's pissed off, who's had a hard time, who's just fucked off in the world, basically.
He's just pure anger and rage.
Yeah, he's trying to civilize the people, but he just does not want to deal with people. So he takes. Basically, he's been hired because these people who were religious people who were trying to set up a camp to help the people in the area. He told them, "Don't do it. It's a bad idea. This place is awful. You cannot, because I have to go over the border to do it." He says to them into Burma, he says, "Don't do it. It's a bad idea. You will die. You cannot do this. This place is not what you think it is. It's not what your ideals think it is." But they go anyway, and they get attacked and captured. Because these people had money, the mercenaries come next time and say, "Look, we're going to rescue them." And they ask Rambo to help them, and he says no, but he'll boat them up.
So he dropped them off.
Yeah, because they don't understand who Rambo is. They just think, they just ask them for the boatman, not actually be Rambo. And as they get up the river, you see them interact. So a lot of this film is actually Rambo in a boat talking to people.
He's just staring at people, he's not talking.
Oh yeah, I know, but he's communicating in a different way. Communicating in his own way. And he likes the initial group a little bit, even though he feels sorry for them because he knows they're fucked. But he can't tell them any better. He can't tell them, "Look, don't do it." He's tried, but he's not listening. So he goes up with them, and he goes, as they go in to find where these people are camped, the scene has been totaled. And this is where you start to see Road Rambo come back. Where he you
just see it slowly bubble over.
Yeah, slowly bubbling to a point where the soldiers suddenly realise, holy shit, they've got Rambo on their side. And they basically do the rescue mission, which leads to lots and lots and lots and lots of gore.
Lots of gore, lots of killing, lots of death.
Yeah, this film is gory. This film, every time there's an action scene, there's lots of gore. That's not a criticism. The gore is amazing.
He rips a guy's throat out with his bare hand.
Yeah, and he shoots someone with the whole, basically it's almost like an anti-tank gun into someone's head.
Just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, it's utterly brutal in every possible way, but it works for the film because this is kind of catharsis that Rambo needs. This is he needs to do this. This is the violence within him, and he finally explodes into this.
Gets to purge it.
Yeah, and a really inhumane but kind of wonderful sequence.
It's a good 40 minutes of just violence.
It's actually not, it's only 20, but
is it? It feels like 40.
It feels longer than it actually is. It's it is one of Best Stallone's better films. He directed this one as well. And because it's so quiet for so long, it's building and building, you're just waiting. And it's almost like patience. You have patience, and boom!
Just visceral carnage everywhere.
Yeah. And it is just wonderful in its own way.
I like it when he finally gets caught up with whoever's running the Burma army just slits him in the stomach. It just makes a guy suffer, doesn't make him go quick.
No, yeah, I mean, Rambo... Well, this guy, the villain's a paedophile.
Aye.
He's a complete paedophile. All the Burmese in this film are scumbags.
Mm-hmm.
They are not painted as human at all. They're just painted as people Rambo's going to kill.
Aye, it's like, so that you don't feel any sympathy for them when he does kill them.
Yeah, they're just scumbag villains. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the Burmese were really upset with the portrayal of them. And we all watched the film and didn't give a fuck.
No, we didn't give a fuck. We just seen bad guys that needed killed.
Yeah, just brutally. I mean, this is basically Rambo showing the Punisher how to do it.
Aye.
Like, he goes beyond Punisher in this one.
Movie Punisher's aye.
Yeah. This is as brutal as you can probably get in a mainstream film.
Aye.
I don't think you can go any further than this. Bizarrely, I saw this first in a double bill. I didn't see it in the cinema because after the last one, I was like, I'm not paying money to see another Rambo film. But I saw it in DVD. I saw it in double bill with Sweeney Todd, bizarrely enough, which is a very odd double bill.
That was very odd.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both of them for different reasons, but it's a very odd double bill.
Well, I did see this one in the cinema. It was my first Rambo movie and I loved it.
Yeah.
So I went out and bought the trilogy box set.
And took forever to watch them. Of course. But yeah, this is great fun though. This is really... It's definitely my favourite apart from First Blood. It's definitely a return to the character.
Aye.
They take it serious. There's nothing cheesy in it. Oh, there's cheesy bits, but there's nothing cheesy about Rambo.
Nah, nothing cheesy about him.
And it brings him back to the violence. He was kind of missing from 2... There was violence in 2 and 3, but there wasn't any psychology in 2 and 3. It was just
Aye.
comic book violence.
Aye.
In this one, it was like the consequence of violence. That's horrible.
Aye.
So Rambo, or John Rambo, or whatever, it's great. It's terrifically violent.
And he goes home in the end.
Yeah, it's very pulpy, but really works on his own level. Yeah, he goes home.
I'd have been happy if this was the last one.
Yeah, this felt the last one. This felt the end.
I didn't expect a fifth film.
You didn't need a fifth film.
Didn't need it.
No.
But I quite liked the fifth one.
Yeah, so we'll go to the fifth one now. I'll let you explain the fifth one then.
Last Blood. So at the end of the fourth one, he went home to a farm.
Yep.
So the film starts off with him being part of a search group for missing hikers.
Yep.
But he's only able to save one of them because the other ones run into a flood.
Yep.
So he's back on the farm. You see him in his house. He's got a weird underground bunker system that he only shares with that lassie's, basically his step-granddaughter or adopted granddaughter.
Yeah, because the housekeeper's close to him, so I think you brought her up.
So you got a weird underground system in his farm. So
Yeah, which is a bit crazy.
and this lassie wants to go meet her dad in Mexico because she wants to know why he left her.
Yep.
So when she goes to Mexico, basically the plot of Taken happens where she's kidnapped and put into sex slavery.
Yep.
So Rambo goes to track her down and be his best Liam Neeson.
Yep.
So the first hour and a half of this film is all about building up Rambo and his people.
Yep.
He does eventually rescue her after getting his ass badly whooped.
Yep.
Like, I mean badly whooped.
Yeah, 'cause he's been out of practice for a while.
Aye. So he does save her, but because he'd filled her up with that much heroin and stuff, she dies on the way home.
Yep.
So that just sends Rambo into Rambo.
Yep.
It just bubbles over and it just goes full on extreme.
Yep. He kills people, they come to get him.
Aye.
He
wants it to come get him.
Yeah.
He's booby trapped. He's going to feel home alone.
Yeah, he brutally murders people and they come for him. But there's a whole brutal sequence as he rescues her. As he goes through the location, killing them off one by one.
With a hammer.
Yeah. And it does feel like a video game in some ways. Because it almost feels like Assassin's Creed where you're going up a level, killing one and then next thing. Because I was watching it thinking, if there's a level of Assassin's Creed, one of the last Assassin's Creed games, I've almost this set up.
That's the way the buildings are as well.
Yeah. Feels very video game-ish. Because Assassin's Creed takes real buildings and does other things with it, so that's why. But
he kills the brother of the head of the cartel, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
It made it very clear that it was him that did it, so that they would come from.
Yeah.
Into his booby-trapped, home alone murder house.
And he absolutely decimates them.
One by one, just...
Yeah, because basically after she dies, he's like, oh fuck, I'm going to make you suffer. And he loses all faith in humanity, basically.
He doesn't care if he's going to die.
I know. It's a suicide run. And he's out for blood. I should say I've only seen the extended version. I heard the cut down version is not good.
I've only seen the extended one as well.
Yeah, so we're talking the extended version where there's some scenes in there I think get cut out of the short version because this version we saw was like, was it hour 45 or something like that?
I'm roughly about that, aye.
And the cut version's like 90 minutes. So I think there was some stuff that was cut out that may have been character stuff that would have helped.
Aye.
I mean, there was some bits with the girl where she finds her father and turns out he's a total scumbag and he wasn't worth it. And you find out that the person she was friendly with was using her and setting her up.
Aye.
And all this stuff. And so
Rambo interacting with her was brilliant. He's
yeah.
like, I'm going to cut your fucking ear off. You don't tell me about that, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the Mexicans hated this film because it showed Mexico was really bad.
Aye.
Kind of the Burmese or the Vietnamese or whatever other Rambo film has been, because they're basically set up as people who are worthy of dying.
Aye.
I mean, Mexico's got its problems. It really does. But it's not a nuanced portrayal of Mexico
No.
in any possible way. It's a comic book. And this one's nowhere near as good as Rambo. This is the fourth one.
No, but it's still good. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
I had fun with it, but I know why people don't like it. But I enjoyed it. But it was...
Like that lassie dying, I didn't see that coming. I expected her to go home and have to do a slow recovery.
Yeah.
And Rambo went for revenge, but no, she died, so he went after Wales.
Yeah. And it is kind of dark in that way, and pretty much it's astonishing when any character Rambo likes actually lives, because most people in his world dies horribly.
Aye. You speak to Rambo, you're 50-50 chance of living.
Yeah. If you nod to Rambo in a scene, you're going to die.
Aye.
You're going to get a knife through you somebody. Yeah, and basically the villains are cartoonish. They want to be Scarfaces, but not very good.
Aye.
But they're there to die horribly, and Rambo kills them horribly.
And it makes them suffer.
And strange enough, cause it was that it was like a farmhouse. I kept on thinking Friday the 13th Part 3 as he was killing people. When I was Home Alone, it was that thing of this typical killing a farmhouse, killing people, and it was like I did have like weird Friday the 13th 3 vibes. And they go into the tunnels, of course, and he murders them there too.
And the tunnel stuff is brilliant.
Yeah, the tunnel stuff's pretty brutal, which is meant to remind you of Vietnam. And he's got a whole tunnel system because he's so paranoid.
Aye.
And it shows you this guy's never really come back from the war.
I liked it in the tunnel when you made a pit filled with spikes, and you see people falling in it. They clearly died instantly, but he still puts about 12 shotgun shells in them when they're lying there dead.
Yeah, because he is mad. He's mad. Rambo's a crazy bastard. That's the good thing of the series is he's a crazy bastard.
But we love him.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they don't back away from him being a crazy bastard. That's what's good about the series. That's what I enjoy about the series. It's a very flawed series, though.
Yes.
We have to admit, it's very, very flawed.
It's a nice wee guilty pleasure violent movie.
Yeah. There was something in First Blood and the fourth one, the best films. Then the rest of them go down a bit, but the third one's easily the worst one. The third one, I think, is easily the most boring one.
Aye.
I would just say that's the one I'd least like to rewatch again.
I don't think I'd watch the third one again.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones I'm happy we watch, but the third one...
1 and 4 I'd gladly watch again. 2 I'd probably watch again, but I wouldn't rush to watch it again.
Yes. But 2 was a big film in the 80s, that was the big one.
Aye.
But it hasn't aged brilliantly well compared to some of the other ones. And 5's like, I'd say watch the extended version.
I watched the extended one.
Because it feels paced properly. And I feel another one wasn't. I mean, it's not brilliantly shot or anything. It's like you're feeling that whoever directed it was been told what to do.
Parts of it seemed very amateurish.
Yeah, it feels like
the light was shot and lit and everything.
It feels like Stallone took it over at some point in the movie, but we can no proof of that. But it feels like a film that was
interfered with.
Like it was getting shot and they're saying, "No, that's wrong. We do it the way we want to do it."
And there was a few things where they used CG, where they didn't need to use CG. Practical effects could have been used.
Yeah, I think this film had a better director. It would have worked a lot better. I think it needed someone who knew what they were doing a bit more. So, yeah, but I still had fun with it. I mean, it was.
I enjoyed it.
I think we did advantage of. We were told how bad it was when we saw it. It was like.
And then it wasn't as bad as we expected.
Yeah, we didn't go in with any expectation of it being good. We thought it was going to be terrible.
So I kept putting it off going, I don't want to watch it, it's meant to be bad.
Yeah, me too. I just thought another Rambo 3, oh Christ. But it was better than that, but still not the great film or anything. It's still it's okay.
It's not a masterpiece it needs to be, but you can easily watch all films and miss out 3 and it would still make sense.
Yeah, 3 just does it as... 3's worth it just to see the scene that gets parodied and all these other action comedies. That's what 3's about, that parody. But 3's so tedious. But that's the Rambo series. They're fun. They're enjoyable.
80s madness.
Yeah, 80s into 2000s. Stallone aging. You see Stallone aging all the way through these films.
He starts off young, fresh faced and he looks like a leather bag by the end.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Rocky films are objectively better films as a series, but these are fun.
I prefer Rambo over Rocky because they're just fun.
Yeah, they're fun. So, I hope you enjoyed that.
Aye.
So it's yapping about Rambo. We'll be back with some other ones.
At some point.
Some point, yep. You should not expect these videos all the time. Just expect them as a nice little treat once in a while.
Aye.
We don't plan. It's usually me sending you a message saying, "Do you want to do one?"
It just depends if we coincidentally watch the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I think we both kind of watched the Rambo film at the same time without meaning it.
You know, I think we watched all both What's Bill and Ted ones without knowing it. Rambo ones I'd seen, and I didn't really TV watch them anyway because I'd seen them enough recently. But yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back at some point in the future.
Aye.
Right. Catch James's channel.
Ramsastro.
It's around. It's getting a lot of subscribers now.
Somehow.
Yep. All these Ghostbusters fans have to go somewhere.
They found me, finally.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing much better than mine now. That's not jealousy, that's just objective fact. And plus my channel is such a weird small channel anyway. I'm still getting subscribers though. So we're doing good. We're actually both doing pretty well for our channels, so
we're not trying to make money, we're just putting videos out there.
Yep. So James is you can back doing your streaming stuff now.
On a Sunday night, aye.
Yeah. He's streaming Sunday night. Do you want to see him lose it at an old video game?
I tend to have breakdowns while playing my games.
Yeah. And every so often I'll pop in and insult him while he's doing his games.
Just prod the bear.
Yeah. I don't do it all the time, but I'm a prick sometimes. So, hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back eventually. Right, bye for now.
Hi, Gidgeon.